Why am I excited and hyped about the Cloud Eclipse? I'll tell you, one of my favorite on-running shoes, the Monster, promised a max cushion high stack feel, which I don't think it delivered as well as the Cloud Surfer 7. But what if the Cloud Surfer 7 was put on steroids for that max stack? This is what On Running has done. Let me demonstrate. This is the Cloud Eclipse. Let's talk about it. I was very annoyed with the 2 reviews that I watched on this shoe that referred to this shoe as heavy. For me, I think sometimes YouTube reviewers can be irresponsible in just quickly going to the weight of a shoe as the problem without actually addressing why it's heavy. Look, if a shoe has this much stack in it, guess what? It's gonna be heavy. The Adidas Prime X2 Strong got criticized for being heavy. That bad boy is 50 millimeters of stack. It's got 2 carbon plates in. It's got another bit of midsole kind of chipped in between those 2 plates. Guess what it's gonna be? Heavy. You're not wearing this shoe for your race day. You're gonna want the Cloud Boom Echo, your Vaporflies, your Endorphin Elite. This shoe, if you're gonna criticize it for being heavy, let's make sure we're talking about the shoes within this category in comparison. So let's do that right now. I wear a 9.5 UK. I weighed this bad boy and it weighed in at 292 grams. I agree, it's heavy, but guess what? My Gel Nimbus 25 is 313 grams. Yes, heavier. Oh, the Nike Invincible 3, 319 grams. Wait. My favorite high stack shoe up to now was the More V4 from New Balance, 344 grams. So the Cloud Eclipse at 292, are we sure we want to say is heavy? Now, I know I'm an on-running fanboy, but I want to speak facts. I want to kindly ask, for you shoe reviewers that say this was heavy, what were you comparing it to? Just in your own minds or what? Oosa. Okay, I've calmed down. As I promised you, I said I would tell you exactly how I've tested the shoes. 5 different workouts leading to 25K of running in this shoe. I don't do 100K weeks. That's not the kind of running I do. I had a steady run, a zone 2 run, and a bit more of an interval, as well as a few run walks on a treadmill to test this shoe out. Now, all of the miles or kilometers I've put in have given me a good view. And I have to tell you, this is now my go-to for long or easy runs. Simply my favorite on-running shoe today. Let's start with the heel. Look, if it's not broken, don't fix it. This is the heel of the Monster. That is the heel of the Eclipse. The heel for me is very well padded. I love that plush feeling. It's uniform to how the midsole feels, and the plush that they've got on the heel is great. Secondly, it's got a lot of structure at the back to support you to avoid any heel slips and things like that. To me, I didn't have any problem. Let's talk about the tongue. It's gusseted, always a good start, meaning it's attached on the inside of the shoe. I also like the knitted texture of it. I do. And it has some padding, not as much as I would have wanted. I wish they would have made it a bit more padded, but I guess that's going to add to the weight of the shoe. But for me personally, I would have preferred a bit more of a padded tongue, that when you tie the laces down, it doesn't really pinch down on your foot. The other thing I like about the tongue is this ribbon that they've introduced. It was in the Cloud Surfer 7. I like it because other shoes only offer you one loop for you to put the laces through for that added structure. This, you can feed the laces through all the way over the tongue and places that tongue in a fixed position, which works very well in addition to the gussetedness. The tongue is very breathable. I've got no complaints there. What I don't like are the laces. I like visually, aesthetically what they're trying to do. But for me, especially because of the price point at 170 pounds, I would like On to start offering a bit more resilience in all aspects of the shoe. I feel like the lacing system in this shoe is slightly compromised. It's similar to what I saw in the Gel Nimbus 25, but I wish you could just put holes on the side of this bad boy, reinforce those holes, and let the laces do what the laces do. That's just my opinion. When it comes to the upper, we always talk about two things: technical performance and aesthetics. I'm going to start with the more important of the two: aesthetics. Right. I went into the On Running shop just to show you the colorways that they've launched with, and I absolutely love every single one. But to be honest, this main one that they've released, this orangey look, is my favorite. The next thing in terms of the aesthetic is the On Running style. Those guys have managed to establish a look and feel of their shoes, which I absolutely dig. I love it. Technical performance. This to me is my favorite On Running shoe. And that's highly due to the midsole, but also the performance of this upper. In terms of its breathability, you can literally see through that, and I can see my finger and the shadows inside. Let's talk about the star of the show, and that is the midsole, the Cloud Tech Phase. Before we touch on that, this is the highest stack On have ever produced. Now, I'm a sucker for max cushion shoes, hence why I'm telling you that this is my favorite On Running shoe. The beauty of this, instead of the normal clouds or holes you see on the On Running midsole, these collapse on themselves in a very beautiful and comfortable way at an angle. And I actually like that. It's the same Helion foam that we're used to. The second thing, when a shoe is highly stacked like this, it can have instability issues. From them to trying to mitigate against that lack of stability, they've placed the speedboard underneath instead of embedding it into the midsole. Well, you can't because you got holes in there. It's actually on the underside of the shoe. Okay, so let's turn it upside down and talk about the outsole. For me personally, it does the two things that a good outsole should do: provide coverage, and that is adequate coverage. I can't fault that. But secondly, grip. Now, I've covered about 25K in this shoe. I didn't have any issues that I can complain about. The only thing I'm going to call out, they have readjusted the midsole because in the Surfer 7, it had this loud, squeaky, annoying noise. They've soundproofed that. I don't know how they've done it, but there is nothing I can report back in terms of noise. What I don't like, though, I'll be honest, that speedboard being underneath there, I think kind of takes away from the rubbery feel that the outsole should have. But as you're running, you might literally step onto a stone. It's not going to be as shock absorbed as you would like. That's the only thing I would call out. I like the innovation. I like that they're trying to deal with stability, but this makes up the two things I don't like about the shoe. Look, if you managed to get to the end of the review, thank you very much. If you'd like to see a bit more of my On Running reviews, I've got the recent reviews that I've done on the Cloud Flow 4 over here, as well as the comparison of the On Running Monster versus the Cloud, and you can see that over here. Please do consider subscribing if you found that informative, entertaining, or you just simply enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.